Hey everybody, it's Yasmin here. How you going? Actually, just wait a minute. There we are. I was a bit chilly, so now I've got on my new, it's actually not a wrap, but it's, I don't know what it is exactly. So how is everybody? I love Facebook Live. I feel like I'm actually talking to people. Like when I do a webinar or even the radio show, sometimes I feel like more like I'm talking to people on Facebook Live than anywhere. Maybe because I can see all your comments. Hello, everybody. Hello, Sammy. Hello, Danielle. I'm well, thank you. Good morning, good morning. It's going to be a weird old week. A weird old week. I'll be going live with my radio show in about 3 minutes, I think. So, let me see. I look like some kind of, I don't know what in this thing. Never mind. Hello, Tracy, Leslie, Jennifer, Monica. Who wants a card? Let's do a card before we go live to air. We will go live at 3.5 minutes past the hour. A bit tired today. Are you tired? Who's tired? All right, I'm going to have this card. So who's this card for? Oh, by the way, please share this with anyone if you think they need a bit of, I don't know. I'm going to try and be uplifting. We'll see if I'm uplifting or not. We all keep each other strong, says Elaine. Oh, we do. We so do. Hello, Donna from Scotland. My son keeps putting on a Scottish accent. I don't know. We don't know why. We keep saying to him, why are you putting on a Scottish accent? Oh, okay. Who wants this card? Are you ready for this card? Oh, thanks, Ms. Melvs. Card, yes. Who else is saying yes before we go? We've got like 1 minute. 1 minute. Who wants a card? Who wants the card? Say, this card is for me. This card is for me. Hi, Raynette. Elaine, he is watching YouTube. Do you think that's what's happening? I've got no clue. We've never even been to Scotland. I've been to Scotland once, about 20 years ago. All right. Here comes the card because we're on air in like 15 seconds. So whatever it is you want, first, what do you need to release? That's your card. Here we go. Going live in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4...
This is Astrology with Yasmin.
Well, hello everybody all over the big wide world that we live in. And yet we are just one planet in space. My name is Yasmin Boland. I'm an astrologer, which is why I'm always thinking about the other planets. I'm a moonologist, so I'm always thinking about the moon. And this show is called Astrology with Yasmin. Every week at Monday at around about this time, here I am, actually on Facebook Live on my Facebook page, Yasmin Boland Facebook page, where you can see me. I'm wearing this sort of strange orange thing that I bought on the weekend from a shop in London. And also, if you're on Facebook, the actual whole show will be on www.unityonlineradio.org. So welcome everybody. So I've got to say, this week is a bit of a brain buster. I was actually just saying on Facebook before we came on air, I'm feeling a little bit tired today. And I don't really know why. I haven't done that much. I think I got, a reasonable good night's sleep. I don't think I've got COVID-19 because I don't have a sore throat. I know everybody, every time we get anything wrong with us, we think we've got COVID. So, no, but it's a bit of a brain buster this week, and I'll tell you why. Because it kicks off today, it's Monday, with a clash between Mercury and Pluto. And then we move into, in 2 days' time, a clash between Mercury and Saturn. Now, there's a reason for this, which is that basically Saturn and Pluto, two of the heaviest duty signs of the zodiac, are now actually at the end of the sign of Capricorn, and where they're going to stay just for about another month or so. And so any planet, any other transiting planet, like right now Mercury's in the end degrees of Libra, so any planet that's in any of the air or fire signs is very likely to be making a rather nasty clash with the planets at the end of Capricorn. So by the way, if you happen to have been born late in the Capricorn season, I mean, this is such a big time for you. If you're feeling awful, you have my sympathies, but also know that you incarnated here and now for a reason, because you are ready to go through the crucible of fire, basically. That is the Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto lineup in Capricorn. So yeah, so basically this week, expect, to have a sore head, few headaches, upsets maybe, arguments, discussions, feeling like you're banging your head against a brick wall and all that. And it's just, like life goes in cycles, and this is just a slightly tricky cycle this week. And you know what? It's Mercury. It's not the end of the world. Mercury is like this really super speedy planet, and we're not going to feel it. It's not going to be like next year when we're going to have Saturn squaring Uranus, for example, I think 3 times. That's heavy duty. This is much more cruisy. So there you go. So more about the astrology of the moment as we go into the show. But actually what I want to do now is I want to bring on my guest for the show. Let me just make sure she's there. I'm not sure if she's on. They've called her yet or not. So maybe I'll give her a second. But basically, let me tell you about her. Our guest this week, or my guest this week, is someone I don't think I've ever spoken to in person before. And I've just realised someone's moved her book, which was on my desk up until a few hours ago, and now it's gone. I'm really sorry. Just give me 1 second, because I want to find her book. Let me see if I can quickly find her book. It's a beautiful little pink book, and it's called Witch Please, and it has been on my desk because I've been reading it, and it's a great book. It's a super duper book. So it's called Witch Please, and her name is Victoria Maxwell, and she is basically, I think, a witch, but she's also kind of a Christian witch, I think, which is sort of extra interesting. Let me just tell you a little bit about her before we get her on. So Vix calls herself a priestess for modern times. So that's a kind of cool thing to call yourself. I could call myself a priestess for modern times. I quite like that. A modern mystic and a spiritual teacher in Converse sneakers. Victoria Maxwell, or Vix to her friends, believes that being connected to our own hearts, souls, and spiritual team is our natural state. Now, even just right there, I love that. Do you have a spiritual team? Have you worked out who your spiritual team is? Okay, I would like you to really seriously consider that question. Do you know who is on your spiritual team? I know who's on my spiritual team. I know some of them. They include Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion and mercy. I think Buddha, actually. Jesus, Mary Magdalene. Who else have I got? Saint Germain, definitely. I believe Jonathan Caner, the late great astrologer, UK astrologer Jonathan Caner, I believe he is like now up in the heavens and he's on my team. So, you know, it's really good to work out who's on your team, and you can work that out by who do I really resonate with? You know, who do I feel comes to me and helps me? And I remember someone telling me, a girlfriend of mine, Nicola, who's a very spiritual woman, Nicola Farmer, and she always would say about her team, and I used to think, oh gosh, I wish I had a spiritual team. And she'd say, oh, I asked my team, I sat down and I meditated and I asked my team and I got back this response. And yeah, and I used to think, gosh, I wish I had a spiritual team, but of course I did have a spiritual team, I just hadn't got to know them yet. So there you go. So Vix, who's going to be our guest, says she believes that being connected to our own heart, souls and spiritual team is a natural state. So we're going to ask her about that. And she's excited to be of service to those who are searching for a way back. Vix is devoted to helping others reconnect to their own light, inner guidance, and own power so they can live out their best lives. Now, I am really devoted to that as well. So Vix and I have actually got quite a lot in common, because even though I'm an astrologer, and even though people are always saying to me, oh, draw me a card, or can you look at my chart and all of that, you know, my work will be done when I feel that I hope it won't be done then, actually, because I hope this will happen quite soon, and I hope my work won't be done. So let me take that back. I dismiss the idea that my work will all be done at this point, because I am about to do this. No, but I feel like if I can actually teach other people how to do what I've learned to do using the moon as a cosmic timer for manifesting, then, you know, then I'm going to be basically living out what turns out to be my life purpose. And I can tell you, I did not see that coming as my life purpose. You know, I started life as I grew up in Hobart, Tasmania. I went to the University of Tasmania and majored in English literature and French, became a journalist and a TV producer. I did not expect to end up being someone who sits around in an orange sort of scarf, which you can't see if you're only listening on the radio, but you can see if you're on Facebook, you know, with my own deck of oracle cards, teaching people how to make their dreams come true by wishing on the moon. You know, we all have our own paths. But if I can teach other people, you know, that would actually mean a lot to me, if I could teach other people how to, you know, how to create their own reality. And I will just say, some of you will know, because I think I did I didn't do a show from there, actually, because it was the week that it was in the USA, it was Memorial Day or Labor Day or whatever it was. So I didn't have to do a show while I was away, which was handy because I didn't have to, you know, get all organised. But I just recently recorded a course for Hay House, which is going to be about how to use the moon to manifest. And it's actually going to have a certification module, so you'll actually be able to become a certified moonologer. And I was thinking, you know, that really is kind of a dream coming true for me, because it will be helping people to learn how to teach other people to do what I've been teaching, which is amazing. And someone was saying to me, oh, you don't want to teach other people how to do what you do, because then they'll all go to them and they won't come to you. And I'm like, are you joking? Like, I am actually doing this not just because I want people to come to me. I am doing this, what I do, which I'm going to do a bit of today, hopefully. I'm doing this because I want to teach other people how to manifest with the moon. And I was just thinking about it and writing about it. And, you know, the moon is free. You know, it doesn't cost anything. And moreover, everybody can see the moon. Like, everybody all over the world. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, young or old, you know, fat or skinny. Doesn't matter. Tall or short, you know, black or white or any other, brown, anything. The moon is up there for all of us. And, you know, so yeah, I'm fully into that as well. All right, so let me see if I can get to the end of this introduction and see if Vix is actually going to be on the line. Vix is devoted to helping others to reconnect to their own light, inner guidance and own power so they can live out their best and highest lives, which is exactly what I would like to do as well. Her first book, now I wish I could grab it. Do you think I can see it? Do you think I can just jump over and grab it? I'll grab it when Vix comes on, actually. Witch Please, Empowerment and Enlightenment for the Modern Mystic is published with HarperCollins and came out last month. Vic supports her growing worldwide community through one-on-one soul readings, the New Age Hipster podcast, and other things. Now let's see if she's still not on the line. So I don't know, Vic. So you actually I believe she's on now. Oh, she's on the line. Awesome. That's great. Thank you, Louie. So Vix is apparently there. So just one more thing. Vix is an ex-high school and special ed teacher, a best-selling young adult indie author, and she enjoys drinking tea, exploring stone circles, eating vegan pizza, and watching 80s movies. So I think she sounds like a girl after our own heart. So are you actually there, Vix? Hello, hello.
Hi, I am here.
You're here! Yay! Where are you, Vix?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm here, yay! Right now I'm in Kent, just about an hour outside of London.
Okay. So, Vix, tell us a little bit. I'm going to use you talking, so please talk without drawing a breath. I'm going to use it to leap across to my bookshelf and grab your book. Give us a 1-minute rundown on the moment that you realised you are a witch.
Oh, I love this one. Okay, well, I think in truth I've probably always known, but it's been an interesting journey to be able to really reclaim the word witch and to call myself a witch, because for a long time I knew that I was magic, or I knew that I had some kind of power within myself to
I'm back.
My reality.
I'm back, so I'm going to interrupt you. How did you know that?
I knew that I had...
Hello?
I think I've lost you.
Oh, hello. How did you know that you were magic?
How did I know I was magic?
Yes.
Was that the question?
Yes.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
I just felt it. I just felt like, I don't know. I think it just, when you're a kid and you're running around in the backyard and you're just playing with all these, like, potions, and you're kind of pretending that you can do all of this magical stuff, and I kind of just felt like, I think there's something in this. Like, I think that actually maybe magic is real and it's not just make-believe. Like, maybe there is this magical force that I can use to make things happen in my life.
Right. And where did you grow up, Vix?
I grew up in Australia. I grew up in Canberra.
Oh, in Canberra. I grew up in Hobart. There you go. There you go.
Not too far away.
No, not too far away at all. Okay, so now, just, I know you're having a bit of trouble hearing me, so hopefully you can hear this, but can you tell me, we were talking about spiritual teams, because you were saying about how you like to get people together with their spiritual team. Tell us about spiritual teams. Who's on your team? How did you find your team? How do people get to know their teams? Because I think a lot of people would love to know that.
Has been a sort of experience of collecting them over time.
Yeah.
And sometimes they pop in and out, and sometimes there are people in the team who seem to be very loud and kind of step forward depending on what's going on in my life. But there's a few that have kind of stuck with me over the last few years. When I first kind of got back on my spiritual journey, when I first kind of got serious about my spiritual path, I called in Archangel Michael a lot, and he's never left. He's still very much with us.
He's very reliable, old Archangel Michael.
But yeah, and isn't he? It's nice to have a reliable man on the team.
Exactly, he's a very reliable man.
Another one who has kind of popped in and out is Jesus, because before before my story's all in the book, but very quickly, I was always into witchy stuff. I was a witch. I got into Wicca and all of that stuff in my teenage years. And then kind of in my late teens, early 20s, I got into Christianity. So I got really into working with Jesus, and then was kind of like, I just don't know if Christianity quite works for me. And so I left everything behind for many, many years. And then a few years later, I was doing a meditation to call on my guides, and Jesus came in, and I was like, what? Like,
Whoa.
he's still here. Like,
Hi,
so
Jesus.
cool. We kind of had this reconciliation after
That's
not
beautiful.
talking for a while. It was amazing.
That's beautiful. Yeah, can I just share with you my little Jesus story?
Yeah, I love that.
When it was about 2004, and I was living in Paris, and I was raised a Catholic, and I never was like that that anti the church or anything. But I'd kind of moved away from it, mainly because I'd been to this church here in London, actually, where they said to me that I was going to not be friends with all my friends anymore because they were all going out and partying, and I would be like this stay-at-home Christian. I was like, no, I don't think so. Anyway, so flash forward a few years, and I'd got into astrology and all that, but I never was anti-Jesus. I always kind of kept a space for Jesus in my heart. And so I had this thing where I was, my astrology career was starting to take off, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do because I know that the church is anti-astrology. Oh my goodness, what shall I do? I don't know. And I'd been writing a few columns for Jonathan Cainer and so on, but they'd all been for free at that point. And then so I was thinking, I don't know what to do. And I don't even remember why it had come up for me, but it had come up. So I remember praying to Jesus in my little flat that I had in Paris, or my rather nice big flat, saying, Jesus, if it's wrong for me to do astrology, if you don't want me to do astrology, just give me a sign. And, if it's okay, give me a sign. And I promise you, on my honor, as I remember it, it was almost like the very next day, I got a column in a magazine in Australia that was basically enough to live on every week. And I remember thinking, okay, well, that's my thing. Jesus is obviously fine with it. And just by the way, for anyone else who's curious, apparently Jesus would have studied astrology because he was a Chaldean priest, and they all studied astrology back in the day. So there you go. So Jesus is around for sure, for sure. Yeah. So okay, so
I love that story.
Oh, thank you. So, what made you write the book? Was it because HarperCollins asked you, or you wanted to teach people, or what was it?
Yeah, I've been wanting to write some kind of...
Hello, you're back, yes.
You can still hear me. Yes, I've been wanting to write a kind of beginner's guide to spirituality for a really, really long time, and I'd actually taught these courses that I called Woo Woo 101 for quite a few years, and I had been thinking about turning those into a book in some way. And I kept getting all of these ideas, and I even kind of downloaded this title, and I was like, this is perfect, and I Googled it, just to make sure nobody else had already written a book called that, and somebody had written a book with that name, and I was kind of getting to the point where, it's just really frustrated, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I'm supposed to write a book. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to look like. And then, HarperCollins came along, and they were like, hey, do you want to write a book about being a witch and make it like really practical and down to earth? And I was like, this is the book I want to write. And it all just kind of fell into place, and it was it ended up being a collaboration. And for a long time I thought it was going to be something that I did as an indie book, a self-published book, because I have self-published a bunch of novels previously. But it was just like, I was just waiting for that moment of like, yes, I know what I'm supposed to do now. And it kind of came in the form of an email from HarperCollins saying, hey, do you want to have a chat about some ideas? And I was
Perfect.
like, okay, I'll take this as my sign.
Exactly. Well, Pretty good sign. So, Vix, haven't got much time left before we're going to have to say goodbye because I want to take some calls in the second half of the show. But I really would love to talk to you about something in your book, which is page 149, the portable money altar. And I just know it would be so useful for people, although, I mean, I suppose nobody's traveling at the moment, but even just to make a little money altar, what do you recommend for a money altar?
You know what, I think that, as I'm sure you totally agree with this, I think creating an altar is just all about intention. So I don't think it matters what you put on it or where it is. I think it's all just about the energy that you're bringing to creating that altar. So for me, my portable money altar is really my purse. And I put things in my purse that kind of help me to connect with the energy of prosperity, you know, because a lot of times we're carrying around our purse, like mine for years was just full of old receipts and like pennies, because, you know, I never had any cash money because I, you know, just had lots of change and I was using my cards and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I kind of, you know, really decided that my purse was going to be like a symbol of the prosperity that I wanted to bring into my life. And the first thing I did was I got a couple of crystals. I got a citrine, I got a carnelian, and a clear quartz. And I put them in my purse with the intention of I never want to run out of money. Like, I always wanted my purse to be full. And at that time, I was actually having some money problems as well, which is part of the reason, you know, I was going through this whole, like, what can I do to feel more prosperous and have a bit more money in my life? Oh, crystals, that seems like a good idea.
Especially a citrine.
I've had those crystals in my purse. I have always had money. I've always had some cash. I've always had money in my bank account. And it's, yeah, I think the intention of just saying, you know, putting something in your purse, whether it's a crystal, even a little piece of paper that has the word prosperity written on it, you know, whatever it is, putting something like that in your purse or your wallet or your handbag and just saying, you know, I am always going to have enough money. Like, that is just, to me, I just think that's a really powerful action and it can really shift some things for you.
Yeah, for sure. And so do you take the citrine and carnelian and quartz out every now and then and clean them and recharge them, or do you just leave them in there the whole time?
Do you know what? Like, I always kind of feel like I should take them out and recharge them, but I always forget. And then I have these moments where I'm like, oh no, it was a full moon last week and I didn't charge them. They do get washed in salt water every now and then, but definitely not as much as my other crystals. But, you know, they seem to be happy in there. So,
yeah,
you
that's
know,
the main thing.
Shouting at me and they say, hey.
Yeah.
And yeah, they seem to be doing the job.
And you also include an image of a prosperity deity. So someone like Lakshmi, for example.
Yeah. Yes, at the moment I do have a little, just a little printout from just a picture that I liked off Pinterest, and I printed it off my computer and I just cut it out and I wrote a few little words, a little prayer on the back, and put that into my purse as well, which, you know, I don't think that can hurt.
Exactly.
I love Lakshmi. I love her energy.
Yeah.
Speaking of who's on your spiritual team, I call her in every day.
Yeah, no, I love Lakshmi. Lakshmi, Saraswati and Durga.
Wonderful energy and
yeah.
Yeah, and for me, she's all about prosperity rather than money, right? So it's not
Yes,
just about
and abundance.
how much money, like, it's physically in your purse. It's like, how do you feel as you're walking around with your purse in your bag? You know, do you feel prosperous?
Yeah. Okay, so Vix, I'm afraid that we are out of time. I'm going to give everybody your website address after the break because we now have 8 seconds left, but it's newagehipster.co, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Vix? Can I speak to Vix before she goes?
She's still on, I think.
Vix, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hi, I'm so sorry that I had to go so suddenly. I kind of lost track of the time. That was amazing. And I'll give your book another mention
No
so people can know where to get it and what it's called. And I have been holding it up to the Facebook camera. Everybody will attest to that. I've been holding it up to the Facebook camera. So that was great. I'm so sorry. I feel like it wasn't long enough. So maybe we can do something else a bit later.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome.
Oh, my pleasure. We've never met in the flesh, have we?
No, and I've been following you since since day one. That's very exciting.
There you go. I feel like I know you as well, but I don't think we've ever met. We'll have to meet one day up in London, and you should have come to Hay House, and you could have come to the parties. Yeah.
Well, wasn't meant to be, I guess.
No, apparently not. All right. Well, I'd love to meet you someday anyway. Thank you for the book, and I'll give it a nice big mention after so people know where to get it from, and I'll put a link on the Facebook thing as well for people who want to order it off Amazon.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you, Vix. I hope we speak again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, lots of love. I'm sure we will, yes. Maybe you, me, and George Lizos can go out for dinner one day.
I think she's off call now.
Okay. Thanks, Louie.
No problem.
Okay, so we will be back in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes,
Yeah,
guys.
just stuck for 2 minutes here, so you got a little bit of time.
All right. Hello, everybody on Facebook. I'm going to just leave it on. I like seeing everyone on Facebook. It was interesting seeing people talking about their spiritual guides. Lorna Jane Pelter Crook says, I've been keeping crystals in my purse for a long time and it works. Yes. I actually have a citrine in my wallet, which I actually use mainly for manifesting. Actually, not necessarily to do with abundance. What I've done with my purse for abundance is whenever I've been in India, actually, I've always gone and got some sacred powder, and I've put it in there. So that's quite nice. And I use the citrine when I want to manifest something. I just pull it out and I speak into it, and then I do try and clear it out every now and then. Oh wow, Alicia Ann says, when I chant to Ganesha, I see Jesus riding an elephant. That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, I love Jesus and Ganesha. I feel like I could have spoken for hours to Vix. What a shame it was so quick. I think I'm going to have to try and get it back on. Maybe it's because she's an Australian. People are asking the price of the Moonology course. I don't know yet. I'm really sorry. I have no clue. It's like a really big course. It's about 10 hours. So it won't be cheap as chips. But I don't know the price yet. I'm sorry. Cindy Meg says sacred powder. So in India, they use this stuff called kumkum, Kumkum. You can look it up, and that's what the red spot they put here. And sometimes I've got myself some. Here we go.
That's 816-251-3555. Find out what's happening in the skies.
This was amazing. I agree.
Welcome back to Astrology with Yasmin.
Hello and welcome back. That was the marvelous Victoria Maxwell that we had on the show before the break. For those of you who would like to find out more about Victoria Maxwell, who goes by the name of Vix, you can find her website at newagehipster.co, and if you want to find out about her book, which if you're watching on Facebook, I have in my hand, Witch Please, it's called, Empowerment and Enlightenment for the Modern Mystic. It's a pink hardback with sort of gold highlights, and as we said, it's with HarperCollins. And yeah, it's a really good book, especially if you're starting out. It's got loads and loads of ideas for, how to meet your people, how to keep your relationships high vibe, casting spells, making magic, meditation, journaling, candles. Vix and I seem to have more in common than I knew. Because, for example, I think we're both we both kind of accept we're mystical women, which I've come to accept, and probably both accept we're witches, which, you know, like growing up Catholic, I never would have said that. I'd be like, burn, witch, burn. But, you know, witches was a word that was just made bad by the patriarchy. And, yeah, so that was interesting. I'd really like to get to know her a bit better. So, yeah, Victoria Maxwell, witch, please. Now, there's someone who's been waiting on the line very patiently to get her question answered. So I'm going to go to that in a minute. But just for anyone else who wants to call in, the number to dial from the US of A is 816-251-3555. That's 816-251-3555. And I would love to speak to you. So let us go to Christina, who is on line 1. Hello, Christina.
Hi, how you doing, Yasmin?
I'm great. How are you? Hello?
Hello? I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah.
so where are you, Christina?
I'm in New York, actually Long Island.
Long Island.
It's the North Shore of Long Island. It's very nice.
Right, very nice.
City.
Is that near the Hamptons?
Not too far from there either, like in the middle.
Right, okay, nice.
40 minutes, not too bad.
Okay. So, and you were born in Fort Jefferson.
I was born in Port Jefferson, yes. So I live about 10 minutes from there.
It's weird because my computer doesn't know Fort Jefferson. Is there anywhere else nearby? Don't worry, it's fine. I'm going to put Fort J, which is also in New York, so it can't be too far away. Oh, actually, no, it could affect your chart, actually. What's the nearest big city to Fort Jefferson?
Oh my goodness. I guess Mount Sinai. I mean, Mount Sinai is not big either. Yeah, Port Jefferson is pretty big. Port Jefferson, are you spelling it right? It should come up.
Jefferson?
Yeah, like Jefferson, like the president.
No, it's not coming up. That's all right. Mount Sinai will do if I could work out how to spell Sinai. S-I-N-A-I, I think. Mount S-I-A-N-I. S-I-A-N-I. Sorry, guys. All right. Is that actually a place or is that a hospital?
It's a town, yes. There's no hospital. The hospital is actually in Port Jefferson.
I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with my something's happening. Oh no, that Mount Sinai worked. There we go. I've got your chart. Yay! Just as well I did it because when I randomly put in Fort J, you came up as Libra rising. You're actually Scorpio rising. So there you go.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Scorpio rising.
All right. Okay. And I've just got to make one little change to your chart here. I was messing around with heliocentric charts today. All right, so there you are. Christina, you are an Aquarius with Scorpio rising and a Libra moon. What would you like to know today, Christina? Sorry about all that, took a bit of time. What would you like to know?
Well, I didn't really have any particular question, I don't think. I wanted you to look at my chart. Because I just love the way you do charts and the reading. Oh,
that's nice. Thank you. Okay, well then, looking at your chart, yeah, your Scorpio rising just so, but you have a pretty, hang on, yeah, you have a pretty accurate time of birth by the looks of it. So yeah, you're a double Aquarian. So you've got the Sun and Mercury both in the sign of Aquarius. So you're a little bit unusual. Are you a bit unusual?
I am.
Excellent. And probably even more unusual behind closed doors once people get to know you, because Scorpio rising doesn't give everything away on the first date. You know, you don't let people get to know you straight away. But you've got a lovely romantic Venus in the sign of Pisces. So you're a bit of a romantic, even though you probably don't come across as romantic, and you're probably quite independent, and probably your partner or husband or wife or lovers or exes or whatever would say, well, she's not really that clingy, but you are, your Venus is very romantic. So you've definitely got that in there. And yeah, you've got your moon in Libra, so you actually need relationships, and you need like the romance of life. Are you single at the moment, or are you attached?
I'm in a relationship.
Right. Well, I'm sure you give your. Sorry, go on.
We're a committed long-term relationship. Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, that's great. And yeah, I mean, you've got a very nice chart. The focus of your chart is actually where you live, family, and so on. Are you a mum? Are you a mom?
I'm not a mom, but no, I'm an aunt.
Okay.
I'm a hairstylist, and I do a lot of artwork.
Oh, okay. Rightio. But I bet you're a very good auntie.
Yes, I am. I love my nephews and nieces.
Yes, I can imagine. I'm sure your family means a lot to you because you've got Sun in the 4th house. So, yeah. So, yeah, and as for what's going on in your chart right now, let's see. Well, in a funny way, like before on the show, we had Vix, who is a self-confessed witch, and in fact, you've got kind of a witchy thing going on in your chart right now. You've got like right now the ability to make magic in a kind of a witchy way, but like with your words, or basically right now you really need to look into the power of how your words and your thoughts create your lives. Let's put it like that. Because you have the power. Yeah, you have the power. Sorry, I'm just looking at your chart here. You have the power to create your life with your thoughts and your words more than ever. I'm actually listening to a really interesting book on Audible right now this week called Cybernetics. It's actually called something or other Cybernetics. And it's a much older book than a lot of the sort of law of attraction books, but it basically says the same thing. And it really comes down to, as far as I can ascertain, I'm only about 3 or 4 chapters in, but it's about your self-image. And about if you believe you're worthy, then you're worthy. And if you believe you're not worthy, then you won't be worthy. So that would be something good for you to read right now, Christina. Not because I'm saying you think you're unworthy, but because you have such a lot of power when it comes to your thoughts creating your life.
Right.
So,
I'm able to manifest.
Yeah, you're very able to manifest at the moment. So
okay, great.
Decide what you want to manifest, basically, and then do it at the next new moon.
Fabulous. Well, thank you very much.
You are so welcome. Thank you for calling in.
Yes. I'm wondering if you have any plans, because I was going to, a few years ago, you had a class in the city, and I missed out on that class because I was working.
Oh.
Do you have plans in the future? I know things are locked down, but I'm wondering if you're coming back to New York.
Well, funny you should ask, and I haven't paid her to ask this question. Actually, I'm doing another course for the Open Center, which is in New York, which is where I did the last ones I've done in New York. But they are now all online for the next 12 months. So if you go onto the opencenter.org and just put in Yasmin Boland, it will come up. It's actually in December. Let me give it a bit of a plug. It's called Rituals on a Highly Auspicious New Moon Eclipse. So it's basically an online course that I'm going to be doing on the night of a new moon eclipse about rituals, intention setting, new moon wishes, you know, all that online. So in fact, anyone can join it anywhere in the world, but it is kind of the right time, unfortunately for me. The time has been set up for people in New York or on the East Coast of America. It's 5:30 p.m. on Monday, December 14. It's about 10:30 p.m. my time, so I've said to them I hope I'm not going to be falling asleep by the time it's the end of the course. But yeah, come to that, and then maybe when COVID-19 is over, please God, you know, we'll be able to do it in person again. And I'm just looking at the thing on the Open Centre's website. It says the various techniques we'll use include visualizations, affirmations, altar building, meditation, chanting, and essential oils. So it's kind of exciting.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to do that.
All right. Well, if you're there on the thing, make sure you say hello to me and say, hey, it's Christina from Unity Online Radio.
I will. Well, thank you so much, Yasmin.
You are so welcome, Christina. I hope to see you in New York one day.
Oh, yes. That would be fabulous.
Okay, all right. So we have another call waiting. If you want to call in, it's unusually not busy this week, so take advantage and call in. You might get your call answered. The number to call from the States is 816-251-3555. Tamiko, I can see you're waiting. I will take your call in 1 second. But before we do that, I just want to do a card for everybody, because these cards are usually quite reassuring and quite nice. So if you have a question, now is the time to think about your question. What question do you have that you want answered from the universe? I'm going to choose a card for everybody. If you're watching on Facebook, you can put your question in the comments. Otherwise, just ask your question now. You can say it out loud. You can write it down on a piece of paper. But just express your question, because it's too easy if you don't do it properly. If you don't sort of declare your question to the universe, it's too easy to just sort of go, oh, no, I wasn't really asking a question. Or, oh, yes, that sort of fits what I would have asked if I'd have thought of it, or whatever. So decide what your question is, say it out loud so there's no messing around afterwards, and here's the answer. Are you ready? Oh. This is a really good card, but it's kind of an annoying card. This is from my Moonology Oracle cards, which is still selling like hotcakes around the world. Thank you to everyone who's buying them. And it's the third quarter moon card, and it's adjustments are required. It's kind of an annoying card, because if you're waiting for someone to say, yes, everything's going to be okay, what it's saying is it's not that things are not going to be okay, but there's still a bit of work to do. Okay? It's whatever it is you're asking about, there's still a bit of work to do. So I'll just read to you. Think of yourself as a vessel that's been filled more and more over the past few weeks. Some of what has come your way may have been wonderful, but there's a lot of negativity and you need to let go of this. Whatever situation you're asking about now, be honest about whether there are toxic emotions involved, which you need to release into the ethers. This card also comes with the message that all is not lost. However, there are changes or adjustments required before you will get where you want to be. Okay, there may also be a little crisis now which will remind you of what you want and what you need to let go of. So there you go. Adjustments are required. Not my favorite card, but you know, still a good one. Okay, so the number again, 816-251-3555 if you'd like to call in, 816-251-3555. Someone on Facebook is saying, can you call from the UK? Yes, you can. It will just cost you whatever it costs you. Then in that case, you dial 0111 816-251-3555. So let's go to Tamiko, who is waiting patiently on the line. Are you there, Tamiko?
Yes, hello, thank you.
Hi. Thank you. How are you? What's news? Tell us.
Oh, gosh. Just getting past, on my side of the United States, just getting past some of the rain family.
Right. Are you in Virginia, Tamiko? Are you in Virginia, where you were born, or you moved?
Oh, I'm not in the city, but I am still in the state, yeah.
Right, and there's lots of rain, is there? Well, then don't they need that on the other side of the country, where they've had those awful fires?
Oh, I know, but it's past now. Now we're just in some cool weather and some wind for the autumn.
Right.
Beginning.
Thank God for that. That was really too much. Like, on top of everything else, to have all those fires, it's just like, what is the world coming to? I grew up in Australia, and you know, we had basically Australia was on fire at the start of this year. It's just been hideous. So Tamiko, you are an Aquarian with Virgo rising. Are you quite picky? You are, aren't you? I think you're picky. And you've got a Gemini moon. So, which means that you need change. You like change, you need change. Change is your friend. You like to keep life moving along. You're not a Klingon like me. And yeah, but you are a bit picky probably. So what can we tell you today, Tamiko? What would you like to know?
I was interested in knowing some info about the North Node. I know my North Node is Aquarius, but I think some of the info have gotten from like YouTube and different people like that, it just sounds, I'm not quite certain. Like, I've heard some people say, well, it kicks in when you're in your 40s and 50s, and I feel like I've been on it all my life, but I would like some more information concerning my North Node.
Okay, now this is really strange. Do you know your chart very well?
Do I know my task?
Your chart, your astrology chart, your chart.
Oh, my chart. I'm sorry. I thought you said task.
My accent.
I know it a little bit. I can't remember some of the planets, like towards some of the other houses, like in Neptune and things like that. But I know some of it, yeah.
So do you know that your sun is in pretty much exactly the same place as your North Node? Did you?
I know that. Yeah.
You know that. Okay. I was thinking otherwise it's very interesting that you're interested in the North Node. So basically you and your North Node are more or less one. And look, the weird thing is with the nodes, one of the reasons why you're going to be hearing conflicting information about the nodes is that, as far as I can work out, nobody's really ever like been that 100% clear on what the nodes are. Like in Western astrology, we're not really sure, and in Eastern astrology, they kind of, I mean, it's not fair to say we're not really sure, but a lot of people kind of, in Western astrology, they'll often point to what Eastern astrology says about the nodes, where they're really big on the nodes. But this is what I know of the nodes, and I was taught this, I can't remember actually if it was in person or if it was something I read, but there's a really good American astrologer actually called Michael Luton, and somehow I've ended up with his information about the nodes, which I've always stuck to and I've always found to be very true. And so what he says is the North Node is where you need to go, and it's where happiness and fulfillment lie for you, okay? Whereas the South Node is what you're drawn to, but it's not necessarily going to bring you happiness and fulfillment. It's more like it's the easy way out. So you have the North Node, your sun conjunct the North Node, which means in theory, if you want to be happy, you are someone that will get happiness and fulfillment by pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, basically. Every time you fall into just sitting around doing the same old that you've always done because it's so easy, you're gonna not end up happy about it. So you need to keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And also the other thing is that as much as I'm all about spirituality, obviously that's a very, very big part of my life and a big part of my message that I give out to the world. In your case, you're probably going to be quite a spiritual person, but you mustn't let your head go completely into the clouds. You mustn't let yourself kind of, you know, just, I mean, you don't want to kind of go off and meditate in a cave for 5 years and neglect your life, because in fact it's the tick-tock of daily life and taking care of business and doing all the things that you need to do to fulfill your duties and responsibilities that, believe it or not, is actually what's going to bring you happiness and fulfillment. So there you go.
Okay.
You don't sound terribly impressed with that.
Huh?
You don't sound very happy with that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It just it's interesting because I get that I am a spiritual person, and I've done some things. I'm a writer and a poet, and I've done some things that I've done spiritually, some healing modalities that I've done for myself. I felt this need. Well, I don't want to just keep it to myself. Let me share it with others. Type of, you know, thing that I wanted to do, but even though writing is my first love, so it makes some good sense, because I've had to push myself out of my comfort zone, especially with being on the internet and talking to people more and using my voice more, and not just the writing, but actually speaking to people, you know.
And also to Miko. Yes, exactly. Making yourself a schedule, you know, giving yourself a list of things to do on your to-do list. So if you're a poet, you're going to be kind of obviously a bit more, you know, like, you know, going on intuition and all that. But you also, if you really want to get it out there, you need to be disciplined. You need to be doing a little bit every day. You need to be all those sorts of more kind of, it's like balancing spirituality and practicality.
Yes.
Very important for you. Yes. All right.
Okay, that makes sense. And sometimes one thing can get a little bit more of my attention than others, because sometimes I will slack on certain things, but it's like I'll think about it and go, okay, I've been doing this too much. I've been sitting around meditating and doing yoga too much. Let me go ahead and...
Well, that's exactly what, and it's so interesting you asked about your, so interesting you talked about your North Node, because that's basically what your North Node is saying to you. It's like, push out of your comfort zone and get disciplined. And are you Tamiko Bayer?
Am I Bayer?
Is that your surname, or Barnett? I'm just looking up Tamiko, poet.
Oh, it's Barnett.
Oh, Tamiko Barnett. Great. Give yourself a plug. All right. Well, you can find Tamiko on poetrysoup.com. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Found you.
Yeah.
It's a bit spooky, isn't it? All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to see if I can get one more call in. I think you've got the message loud and clear. Actually, I'm not going to get another call in. But thank you so much for calling, Tamiko. All right, well, that was Tamiko Barnett, who's a poet, and you can find her on poetrysoup.com. I just found her now. So people who are waiting, Melissa, Sharon, Holly, Melinda, I'm really sorry. In the end, I'm not going to be able to take any more calls. But I am going to give you a card. So hopefully, if you are waiting on the line right now, this card is for you. I've pulled it just for you. Oh, gosh. And if you're on Facebook, you can see it. Look at the card they got. You got the new moon eclipse, expect powerful change. So Melissa, Sharon, Holly and Melinda, who are waiting on the line, expect powerful change. So that about wraps it up for another week. It's been really nice talking to you. Really loved having Vix on the show. And I'll be back next week. Just remember, go easy this week. It's pretty intense with all the Mercury, Pluto, Saturn clashes. And I'll see you next week. Lots of love.